Hi, Lori. I'm sorry that I'm just getting to this now. It's just been hard. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. This is not the most well-researched speech ever. And honestly, it's just coming straight from where I'm at and what I found that like helps me. It's the persuasive speech, but it's not going to be the most researched thing in the world. So honestly, I'm just like at the point where I just want to get things done. So I'm just going to be honest. So for my persuasive speech, my topic is going to be why you shouldn't be scared to get help for your mental health. I was never the type of person who was like, I'm ever going to deal with depression or anxiety or, any of those things. I grew up in a great 2-parent household, loved each other, loved us. It was a very, what you would maybe consider like a perfect childhood. Grew up, just like doing well in school, having parents that loved me, family got along. But in 10th grade, I started to get like heart palpitations and some other things that we weren't sure what was happening. My senior year ended up wearing a heart monitor. They did stress tests. They did all sorts of things. Nothing ever came of it. They were like, we don't really know why you're experiencing like shortness of breath or tightness in your chest or heart palpitations, just like randomly. They're like, you're probably just really stressed. Come to find out now that I was dealing with symptoms of anxiety that I never knew. Really started to fall into like depressive cycles after I graduated high school. And as the years went on, it was just kind of like this, like just a little bit of seasonal depression, but not really understanding the depth of it. And then last year, actually, I got into an abusive situation and with a guy and actually ended up starting therapy out of it. He was like, if you think that I'm like, I think you need therapy, and if I'm saying that, then you really need it. And so I was like, crap, like honestly, that's probably true. I'm gonna look into therapy. And at that point, my anxiety had gotten out of control. Didn't know that's what I was feeling until I started therapy. And it really started, therapy saved my life. And as soon as I started therapy, things started to get better. I got out of that situation with that guy. And then this year it kind of happened again, got into another bad situation with a guy, and it just was even worse with anxiety and depression, and ended up getting pregnant, lost my baby, lost a fallopian tube. I ended up having to use crisis helplines. I started medication, a lot. So I'm the poster child from going from, oh, that's just for like people that are really damaged, to being like, no, actually this is like a real thing. And I just really want to like show that it's not scary to get help. And being put on medications or starting therapy doesn't have to be scary either. So my first point that I want to make is therapy is for everybody. Whether or not you feel like you struggle with like a ton of depression or a lot of anxiety, therapy is just a fantastic tool no matter what. And there are things about like my childhood, which would seem idyllic to most people, that have really affected me as an adult that I wouldn't have thought of unless I'd started therapy. That doesn't mean that your parents were bad parents or that you are a crappy person or anything like that. It's just like how life works. And sometimes therapy like uncovers that. Therapy has given me tools to be able to cope with a lot of things. And just given me a space to just be completely real and honest with someone, totally outside of anything that I'm going through. That doesn't have a personal stake in it other than to help me get better. And so for my first visual aid, this is my therapy the staff at the therapy center I go to. So this is my current therapist, Becky. This is Ben. He was my first therapist. I actually became friends with his wife, so we had to stop seeing each other professionally. So then I got another therapist, Kate, who left to go take care of her parents. So now I'm with Becky. And so these people have saved my life, and I love them dearly. And I'm just very thankful for them. Very thankful for Love the Journey. And my second point is that medications are not scary either. I felt like I was in a place where I couldn't function at all, and my doctor was like, I think that we need to try meds. She said normally I would be like, hey, I think that we should try talk therapy first before we put someone on meds, because she wants things to be able to be as healthy as possible without meds first. And so but she's like, you're already in therapy, you've been in therapy for a year, and if you still need help, that's fine, there's no shame in that. And so for a second visual aid, this is my best friend Lexapro. I take this bad boy every morning. It's a combination anxiety, depression med. And this has helped so much. I went without it for 3 days because I forgot to refill it. And I really realized how much this is doing for me. This is another medication that I take as needed. It's hydroxyzine. This helps if I'm in the middle of an anxiety attack and I just really need a little extra something to just help me just release. Is this easy to do and be like, yeah, I'm on medications? No, it's not easy in any way, shape, or form. However, it has benefited me so much. Medications are not scary, and if they truly help you, and it might take trial and error to find what helps you, but I'm serious, medications are not something to be afraid of. They're here to help us for a reason. And the third thing is helplines. If you're like, maybe I don't need therapy, I don't think I need medications, but sometimes you're just like, I can't do this anymore. I had a lot of suicidal thoughts earlier this spring and even this fall. And I had both called the National Suicide Prevention Hotline as well as the Pine County, where I was living at the time, Pine County crisis line that I was texting. And sometimes it's nice to just have someone texting you back and being like, hey, actually, you're not alone in this. Are you thinking you're going to hurt yourself? They can dispatch, people if needed. But it's not scary to just text someone, right? We all do that on a daily basis. We don't have to see someone face to face. Sometimes therapy can be intimidating because you're looking at someone telling them all your crap, right? Crisis text lines are great because you don't have to see someone. And they're literally there just to make sure that you're safe and to just even de-escalate things a little bit for you and try to break them down a little bit. So please don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help, to text a line, to start therapy, to talk to your doctor about medication. It really isn't scary. And it may seem intimidating, but I promise you that it's not scary. So that's my speech.